The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.
This is the Inferno Podcast. It's the official podcast of UAB Athletics. Blazer fans, this is the place every week for an inside look into UAB Athletics. This episode is brought to you by Pearl River Resort.
Hey Blazers, welcome back to the Inferno Podcast, your official podcast of UAB Athletics. I'm Madison Page, and as always, we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort. We have a lot on our episode today, and today's episode rundown is going to be brought to you by Legacy Credit Union, your official credit union of UAB Athletics. Joining me today for our Coach's Corner is going to be head women's tennis coach Mark Tjia. Not far behind him, we're going to talk to his player Gresi Bajri. She's going to be our Blazer of the week. This past weekend was the American Conference Basketball Championship. After getting the 4th seed, men's basketball fought until the end until later falling short versus Charlotte. Following us later on this week is going to be softball. They're going to be taking on Charlotte at home, and baseball is going to be continuing their season as they take on American Conference opponent Eastern Carolina. If you want to stay up to date with all things Inferno Podcast, be sure to follow us on all of our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and also catch all of our full episodes on YouTube. Click that bell so you're notified every single time. Welcome back to the Inferno Podcast. I'm Madison Page, and today we're joined by head women's tennis coach, Coach Mark. Coach Mark, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. So before we even get into what's going on this season, I want to start with you as a coach and going all the way back to when you started playing tennis. Okay. What made you even get into the sport to begin with?
I started because my parents played, and they used to I'd have to go along so they wouldn't have to have a babysitter.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I want to play, so I got in hitting balls. And I had an older brother as well, and so that's how we started. We started together.
What age did you start at?
Probably 7 or 8.
Okay, so you started young.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite part about kind of growing up with a tennis background?
I just like competing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like to play a lot of sports, and that was just one way. I'm kind of staying with my family and doing that Friday night thing as a family, so it was fun.
Did you play any other sports growing up?
I played soccer.
Okay.
Yeah, organized, and then I did everything, on the street with the kids, playing flag football or whatever, so I did all that stuff too.
What was the toughest part of having parents that played tennis and you getting into the sport?
Well, they didn't play tennis that well, but they thought they knew a lot about it, so that was probably the toughest part, is them trying to coach me. Mm-hmm. That was, I had a few fights there, family fights there.
How old were you when you realized that it was okay, wait, I'm kind of passing my parents with this whole tennis thing?
Honestly, I didn't really escape until I went to college.
Really?
Yeah, and then the day they dropped me off school, they washed their hands of it, and they weren't involved in my tennis anymore, and that's kind of when I started playing really well.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about your college experience, because you went to TCU and played tennis there, and you had a successful career there. What was the best part about being at TCU and starting your collegiate career?
Well, it was the friends there.
Mm-hmm.
I still keep in touch with almost everybody that I played with. The team had success. I had moderate success, but my pride was in how well the team did.
Yeah.
We were a Final Four team my freshman year, and we were 1 or 2 in the nation my senior year for a good portion of the year. So just being around those high achievers and a Hall of Fame coach, they really shaped the way I look at things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was the people there and my teammates.
What did you learn from being there? What's the biggest thing that you would take from your experience of being there?
Well, I had a Hall of Fame coach in Tut Bartson, and the biggest thing I took for him wasn't even really tennis related. It was more about just discipline and class and how to prepare. And then the teammates that I had too, they were really high achievers. A lot of them went on to do very well in the pro tour, and just to see their work ethic and it all kind of just rubs off. When you're around successful people and high achieving people, then you get their habits.
I feel like a coach can either really make or break your career. Having that coach and having that background, would you say that kind of pushed you into this is something that I want to do and I want to get into coaching? Well,
what's interesting is I actually didn't get into college coaching until really late.
Really?
So yeah, I went straight from college. I coached a little on the WTA tour, and then I went into club coaching, which is actually pays more than college in pro coaching. So I was really kind of initially just trying to get the money.
Yeah.
You know, because as a young grad, you can make pretty good hourly wage. I had opportunities to coach in college, and I didn't think that it paid well enough.
Yeah.
So I didn't get involved until really almost 40 years old, you know, and that's pretty late to get in the college game. And I did it just because I missed it. I missed competing. I missed, you know, everything about the university and, you know, rooting on football teams and basketball teams.
Yeah, I want to go back to talking about a little bit of before you started coaching in college, because you got to pat yourself on the back a little bit with some of the things that you did, because you coach with Sean Stafford.
I did.
How
yeah.
was that?
It was amazing. I was almost too young to realize exactly what position I was in.
Right.
Because I was probably like 24 years old, and I was going to Wimbledon with her and Italian Open. You know, we were on the court with, you know, Martina and a lot of Martina Navratilova, a lot of these legends, and that was really my first coaching gig. So she was a high school friend of mine. That's kind of how I got in. And I probably didn't know enough. And I also didn't appreciate what I was doing at that time because I was just too young.
Yeah.
But I learned. I got to see it firsthand, you know, of how to prepare and how to travel and how to be a professional.
What would you do differently if you had the knowledge that you have right now and you put it into that job?
Oh, wow. That's no comparison. Yeah, because that was literally my first coaching gig.
Yeah.
And so I've had, you know, 25 years on that, and definitely would have made more connections. I would have enjoyed it more because at that time I was probably still a little bitter that I wasn't playing. And so, yeah, I wasn't probably as polished and as professional as I could be.
What happened that made you stop playing?
I just ran out of finances, and it's a lonely job, you know. You don't have the money for a coach, what have you, traveling by yourself. You're playing in you're not playing in like Indian Wells in Miami. You're playing Bangladesh and Bangkok and places, and you're staying in I mean, it is a real minor leagues. So, and you're paying and financing it all yourself. You don't win and you don't make any money. So I just kind of got tired of traveling alone and roughing it, and yeah.
What made you overcome that hardship and like kind of get back on your feet and realize that like, okay, I need to keep moving and I need to go ahead and show these girls something that I learned throughout this experience?
I don't know. I mean, I want to help. You know, I feel like I had a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience in tennis. It's basically the only thing I've ever really done. I've never held a job that wasn't tennis related or tennis playing. So that's where my expertise was, and felt like I could help people. I could pass that on.
Yeah, and speaking of helping people, we talked a little bit earlier because you wrote a book.
Yeah.
And this was about, 30 years ago that you wrote this book?
Yeah. I know. Now you're dating me. Yeah, that's been a while. It's been a while that anybody has even mentioned it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wrote it more as therapy. I was a head pro of a club at a time, and there was a lot of I did a lot of ladies leagues, and even though the play wasn't great, it's really super competitive, and I just got, people calling me at night for hours at a time talking about stuff that wasn't really what the game was about. And so it was therapy for me. So I just self-published it. I wrote it out myself and put it on Amazon and just distributed it through connections and networking. So
yeah, and we're going to have Gresi on a little bit later, and she talked about that. She read the book. What is something that you want your players to take away if they do sit down and take the time to read what you have?
To be honest with you, I haven't read it in a really long time. It's been a long time. But really, it's about competing. It's about the attitude of competing, and that's what we preach every day in our program. So she's probably, heard it already before reading the book, or she's probably heard it in practice over and over and over again, because those are just principles that I believe in, and how to compete and how to do it with the right way, and how to prepare, how to have the discipline, and not make excuses. Yeah.
So if you were to put your top 3 of like what you need to do in order to be a pro, to be a good athlete, and to be successful in this sport, what would you put?
You got to love competing.
Yeah.
Number one, even over the result, you got to love competing, especially like to be a pro player, because like I said, it's a rough road in the beginning. And if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you won't last. You got to love competing, and tennis is such an individual sport. In college we adapt it to a team format, but it really is individual sport, and the margins are so small. So you have to be a great competitor. You have to love it, because there's a lot of failure in tennis, a lot, and you got to be disciplined. And I think the main thing is you got to be passionate about it.
Yeah. What are you passionate about when it comes to this team that you have this season?
What's great about this team is that we're getting better. They bought in. We haven't had all the results that we would like, but we haven't put the focus on that. We're just trying to get better. Each person trying to face their own demons and the things that they struggle with, the things that they're uncomfortable doing. And I feel like the team is responding. I feel like they've bought in. And I ask them to do some kind of unorthodox stuff, and they've all bought in. So I'm hopeful that we keep at it, that at the end of the season we'll have a body of work that we'll be proud of.
In your philosophy, when you look at this team and you're like, this is what I want to preach on to them, what is the saying that you would say about this group that you want them to continue to take with them throughout this season?
Yeah, I mean, well, right now it's just about that energy, that positive, competitive energy. The girls are tough on themselves, and not always in a good way. Where, like I said, there's a lot of failure. You lose a lot of points, you lose a lot of matches, and we just can't let that affect the energy of their match, but also the energy of the dual match as a whole, because that energy travels, from court to court. So that's been our main focus. And then from the very beginning, it's always just been about growth. Let's not get distracted by the results. And let's just stay true to results. Stay true to the process. It's pretty kind of coach cliche talk, but we've really tried to stay consistent with it.
What are some big growing moments that you've seen throughout individual players on this team? Do you have any examples of some growth that you've seen from the girls?
Yeah, there's a lot of them, actually. There's some girls that have started out that not that confident, and their body language was kind of small, and I've started to see energy grow, and I've seen them walk a little taller and speak up a little bit more in team meetings and what have you, and that's been great. All the girls, that's the best part about this job, is when you see somebody kind of buy in and they go through struggle and they end up prevailing in the end. And that's my hope for everybody on the team.
I love that. What about when they look back and they're talking about, like, this is what Coach Mark taught me? What do you want them to say?
Yeah. Oh, boy, that's a great question. I'd love for them to say that I helped them off the court, too. That it wasn't just about tennis. It wasn't just about becoming a better tennis player, but I'd like to hope that they learned something that helped them in their career, in their life, or in their relationships.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about this season, because you guys are in the mix of it. You're in the heart of your season. What are you excited about for this season? Like how you're finishing right now?
Well, we're in the backstretch of it, I guess. We've just entered the backstretch. We're 4-8 so far, which isn't a great record numbers wise, but it's also we've played a tough schedule too. 3 of those have been SEC teams. Played some ranked teams in there too, some of the mid majors. We haven't won the close ones yet, but like I said, we're growing and we're hopeful that we can go on a run here. We got a tough one on Wednesday and Sunday as well. So they're all tough. They're all like 50-50 matches left. But that will really test us, and if we've done the work, then we should get our share of them.
Yeah, what does that growth look like?
We'll know at the end, but like I said, I feel like we've been making small steps. Everybody has been making, some people have gone bigger steps than others, but we're going forward. I don't think anyone stepped backward, and I don't know what it's going to look like in the end. I honestly don't, but we just try to handle the first one match at a time, and we got a tough one on Wednesday. It's a very competitive Jacksonville State team that will they will scream after every point they win, and they're gonna shake their fist at you when they win points, and how we handle that, I'll know whether or not we're we're going to head the right direction or not.
Yeah. How do you prepare for that in practice? Are you like having girls kind of like screaming after?
It's not easy because they don't like to do that.
Yeah.
You know, they take it personal, I think. So, yeah, on the men's team when I was playing, boy, we had some drag-outs in practice, and then it was no big deal. But this team, a lot of really nice girls on the team. I wish sometimes we could draw some of that. Gresi doesn't seem to have a problem doing it, but some of the other girls, you know, they don't want to show up their teammates, so it's hard to kind of get that kind of competitive energy out of them. But you know, we haven't given up yet.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this season, Coach. You're getting me fired up for it, and I want to read your book, too.
Yeah, okay,
so
great.
Bring me a copy.
All right, well, you got to come out to one of the matches. So.
Of course, we're all going to come out to one of your
all
matches.
Right.
Well,
all
thank
right.
you so much for being on the podcast.
All right, well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Don't go too far, Blazers, because we're going to talk to Gresi next.
The if in life. It's a world of possibilities. If you go for a night out with friends. If you can keep an eye on your money along the way. If you know you have overdraft protection with no fee transfers from savings, when you get a low balance alert, it's easier to say yes to fun. If that sounds good, try Regions Life Banking.
Stay ready for the if in life. Regions Bank embrace the if in life.
Hello, Blazers. Welcome back to the Inferno Podcast. I'm Madison Page, and today I'm joined with the Blazer of the Week, Gresi. How are we doing, girl?
I'm doing good. I'm grateful to be here. Thanks for having me.
I know. I'm so excited for you to be here and for us to sit down and talk a little bit about your journey and like how you started even playing tennis.
It's been interesting because I started when I was really young, just like Coach Tjia said. You need to start tennis when you're pretty young so you can get to competing pretty early and used to like the habits of everything. I started when I was 8, and it was just like a whole family process. Like my whole family was involved in me going to practice and me going to tournaments, and then me making it to college, and then they were like, we're dropping you off here.
Yeah, so, they just kind of left you there.
Yeah.
You got it, girl.
Get on a flight.
How was that upbringing when it came to like being successful in your sport? Because you're the #1 player in Albania.
Yeah, well, you can say that, but there's also not a lot of Albanian tennis players. So
hey, we're up there.
Yeah, we're up there, definitely. We try and we compete, and we don't compete only in Albania, but I went to compete in European tournaments as well and international tournaments. And that puts my my level to more of a challenge rather than just in Albania. But I mean, it's hard because there's not a lot of players who I can practice with, and maybe not a lot of qualified coaches where I can hit with. But we always tried to make it work, and here we are.
Were you playing a lot of the same people, you would say?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was playing like the same 3 people every week. But I mean, I would also play a lot of tournaments out of the country, and I would get to meet new people. And I actually met one of the girls that I'm playing on my team here.
Really?
Yeah, Nera, before even coming here. And we would play tournaments against each other, and look at us now, we're best friends.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So wait, where were you guys when you started playing with each other?
I remember we were like, I first saw her when I was like 11 years old, and I actually lost like quarters of that tournament. She won the tournament, and I was like, wow, this girl is good.
Like, who is this girl?
Who is this girl? And then we just kept seeing each other on like tournaments so frequently. And I remember when I was like getting recruited by Coach, I remember reaching out to her, and I knew that she was getting recruited as well. So that kind of pushed us to like make a decision for UAB.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
we're
tell
here.
me about that recruiting process, because obviously it's a little bit different. I mean, I grew up not too far from here. You know, we can just kind of drive and like Coach can see me. How was that for you, being so far and like coming into the States to play?
Well, that definitely puts a little pressure on like getting good results in international tournaments or like even local tournaments, because that's what the coach can really look at and get a grasp at. Of course, you sending your videos and everything, but at the end of the day, those results are what really matters when it comes to recruiting. And also, maybe recruiting isn't only about tennis results, but it's also being a good competitor and just having good spirit as well.
Yeah. So. How do you prepare for your games?
I'm really superstitious, actually.
Okay, walk me through. What's the day? What's the morning like when we wake up?
Well, I always tend not to wake up too early because I don't want to waste like a lot of energy just like standing around, but also not wake up too late. I like that we do organized activation with the team, and that also like brings us together in the morning, and then breakfast, and we just try to keep the vibes high while everything keeps rolling throughout the day. And warm-ups and everything, we just try to hype each other up, and that's our routine basically. We're all in the same routine. We're all trying to get better, so.
What kind of music are you guys playing? Because I can only imagine how like amazing that locker room is, and like so many different cultures in one area. What is the vibes kind of feeling like when like the pregame playlist comes on?
Well, we do have a lot of Spanish speakers on the team, so there's a lot of Spanish and Latin music, which I'm not complaining. It's a vibe.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. And then we just play like classics that everyone knows.
Yeah.
So like old 2010 classics, and we just sing along to it.
Nice. So
Yeah.
I want to go back. I want to take like a little trip to you in Albania, because I've never been there before, but I really want to know more about it and what it was like living there, and like the biggest difference you would say about living there and even being somewhere like Birmingham.
Well, it's definitely like a smaller country and less people and everything, but it's a big culture shock, especially
Really?
for me. It was way different. Like even the way the cities are structured, everything, and people's like maybe like morals or behaviors are a little different, but at the end of the day, it's so eye-opening. And I mean, I love maybe being away because I can learn new stuff and everything, but I definitely miss my family and my friends like every day.
Yeah.
But for me, it was good that coming here would give me more opportunities tennis-wise, because it was really hard for me to get like good quality practice back home, and I really needed to maybe travel a little to get better in like practice. But here, everything is literally giving to me, and all I need to do is give my effort.
Man, that's all you got to do, I guess.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're an athlete yourself.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
What would you say is like the hardest part when it comes to like the different coaching styles versus being there and coming here?
I feel like back home, the coaches were a little less focused on maybe like the mental side of the game, and they were focused more on just like winning and getting good results and everything. We literally never talked about mental side of the game. It was mostly get the ball on the court, run, get your conditioning in, and then go play, because there's not a lot to think about. But when I came here, I actually started to understand the like mental side more, and that really helped me like get in touch with my tennis game and everything.
When it comes to the mental side, was there ever a point when your mental wasn't exactly at the place that you wanted it to be?
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like beginning of last season, it was a little tough for me. I ended up getting injured and kind of taking a step back from the game, and that was hard for me because I was never used to not playing and not competing, and I thought that was literally like my life and all I had to do. But it made me understand that we're like much more than tennis is, and we have other areas of ourselves to give. And that's a hard thing to realize when you're a student athlete, especially, or when you're here for like tennis and you're practicing every day and you see your friends practicing. It's kind of hard to adjust to. But I mean, you also got to look at it as another opportunity to get better at something else or keep improving even if you're not playing.
Yeah, I feel like as athletes we put so much of our identity into our sport. So whenever that was taken from you, what did you learn about yourself?
It felt like I needed to just maybe keep going, because I felt a little hopeless at the beginning, and I know my coaches kind of realized that, because I never thought of my life without tennis. And I just knew that I had to realize that this is not the end of the world, and I can end up actually overcoming this and becoming better than what I was playing. So
when we talked to Coach Mark a little bit, and he brought up his book and you reading it. Now it talks about the hardships. Would you say that you read that book when you were in a hardship in your life?
Oh, for sure. He gave it to me so I can read it while I was in a hardship.
Really?
Yeah. I guess it was his way of motivating me to just keep going and understand that you can get better even if you're not playing, and you can be there for your teammates even if you're not playing, because tennis is not just a sport. It's like more than just a skill. It's a mental strength too, and there's more to tennis than just your forehand and your backhand. But definitely how mentally strong and how much you love the game really matters.
Yeah, so talk a little bit more about like the mental aspects that go into tennis, because obviously from the outside looking in, like I'm seeing 1-2, like we're going back and forth, like that's what I'm seeing, but you're saying there's so much more mental that goes into it as far as your skill and how you're competing and your strategies. Talk to me a little bit more about what that mental's like.
For sure. I mean, everyone can look at a tennis player and be like, oh, that's a nice skirt, that's a pretty forehand, everything, but there's definitely because everyone can hit a forehand and a backhand at our level. It's the way that you keep competing and the way that you make it look like you want to be there, even if you don't want to be there on a bad day. You need to just keep going, especially for me. I just got back to playing after a year. So I really need to get adjusted, because I can hit a forehand still and I can hit a backhand still. It was just,
still got it.
Yeah, I still got it, but it's hard to get into the rhythm of it when you've been off for a while, or I don't know, just being positive and keep pushing every day. And that really helps especially when you're a team, because usually when I was like playing alone in tournaments, it was harder because it was just me and maybe my parent or my coach. But here it's easier because you have 7 other girls on your back who are going through the same things as you, and they keep pushing you to be better. So it definitely helps. The mental strength and everything helps when you're a team. So that
definitely helps you going through the game a lot better, because I feel
for
like
sure.
As tennis, it's very individualized. Like you were talking about, at a young age, it's like it's you, and like the little team that you have behind you. Now it's you and all your other girls, and we're all going through this together. What is your favorite part about being a part of this team and being with these girls?
Yeah, that was also like the shock for me when I came to college tennis, because I wasn't used to playing as a team or playing as like one entity and like fighting for each other. But it definitely helps to know that you have someone who's going to be there for you and help you. And even if something is not going on like well for them or well for you, they're going to be there to push you and keep the energy up and everything. So I definitely agree with what Coach Tjia said, that energy is transmitted, and especially in like dual matches, it's always like a dogfight and everyone's screaming and yelling, but that definitely motivates your teammates and yourself. So you just got to keep doing it and got to like push everyone, because that's how we all get better.
What has this season been like for you now that you're coming back and you guys are in the final stretch of your season? Explain to me a little bit what this season's been like.
I was really excited to play, honestly. I mean, it was a year off.
Yeah.
That was a long time, and I love the sport. I love competing, and I just wanted to be playing next to my teammates again and see how that feels like, because I didn't really get to play my season. But I don't know. I love that I get the opportunity to do this, and I get the opportunity to be on court and maybe do those unorthodox exercises that coach makes us do. I'm really grateful for that, and I don't know, I just love being out there, and I enjoy doing this.
Would you say going through that hardship completely changed your perspective and like how you're approaching the season right now?
Yeah, for sure. I knew when I got injured, coach said, you'll see that you're going to be way more grateful and you're going to appreciate every moment. And I feel like I'm currently going through that. And it's not like I want to be on court and I want to be competing, and I'm looking forward to my next match. And I'm understanding how the team works and trying to get the girls on the same page and me on the same page as them, so we can all help each other and push each other, because I feel like that's how we get better.
What's your favorite part about this team that you're learning?
I love that we're all a little different and we all have our little quirks.
Yeah.
But we all try to help each other, and we know that we're going to be there for each other, and we're going to try every time, and we're going to show up there. And even if someone is not feeling that good that day, we're going to try to get them up and get them going, and we just want to get better.
With having so many different cultures in one area, tell me like a real funny moment that you like had with this team.
I feel like there's a constant language barrier happening whenever we're like talking to each other, and it's just funny when someone maybe like says the wrong word or has like can't get the right word and they just say it in their own language or something. But we also have a lot of Spanish speakers on our team. I'm not one of them, but we hear a lot of Spanish all the time, so we might as well everyone learn, right?
Are you speaking a little bit now, or like trying to pick up on like the words that they're saying?
Hola, amigo.
She's fluent.
Yeah, vamos, vamos.
So I got you. I can cheer you on from right
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I can cheer in Spanish, just get the team going, get the spirit going, yeah.
Talking to everybody in their own separate little ways.
Yeah, we all know like each other's hype words in our languages, so whenever like my Croatian friend is speaking, I'm gonna like say something in Croatian just to spike the energy up.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
so when we're wrapping up the season, what's something that you really want to take from it and something that you really want to take from Coach?
I want to take me being back, because again, it's been a while, and I love that we're currently working a lot on like energy and toughness and body language and everything like that. And I feel like we're all trying to do a good job, and that's what really matters, because I see that everyone is actually putting the effort in, and that pushes me to put the effort in. So that really helps everyone to go into the next match and be excited for the next match and look forward to playing. And it doesn't matter if we win or not, it just matters that we're out there and giving our best. So we'll see how the season ends, but I think we're heading in a good direction, and I love what Coach preaches about. That's one of the reasons, I mean, that's the main reason why I came here. And I'm grateful to have him and Coach Paula as well.
I love that. I'm so excited for the rest of you guys this season. And even like, I gotta learn y'all's words so I can just go out there and just start shouting them. And
Yeah.
What is she talking about? Like, I'm fluent, y'all.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much, Blazers. This weekend, beach volleyball is going to be hosting Austin Peay, South Carolina, and North Alabama. Huge shout out to head coach Delaney Rose, as she earns herself 48 wins, the most in UAB beach volleyball history. Also this weekend, UAB women's track is going to be at Georgia Tech for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket Invite. On the 20th, men's tennis takes on Kennesaw State at Kennesaw State, and baseball has Eastern Carolina, another conference opponent. The 20th through the 22nd, softball hosts Charlotte at home. And finally, women's tennis closes us out at Mercer. That's all I have for you this week on the Inferno Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, and join us next week as we have a new Coach's Corner and Blazer of the Week. Go Blazers.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.